Today, let's talk about capitalism. Most people seem to have a misconception of what capitalism is. This seems to be from poorly thought out definitions that are provided by hidden sources. You might think, hidden sources? What does that mean? Google clearly says it's from Oxford. Well, let's go down the rabbit hole and see who exactly is in charge of the English lexicon. Huh, weird. Why are we using a definition from a source that's hidden behind a paywall? Well, I guess let's go ahead and look elsewhere. Oh, that's strange. Do you notice a very clear difference here? Let's put them side by side and take a closer look. What's this right here? Why is Google making this word political and adding in a biased context? When we look at the top Webster definition, it doesn't mention politics or a quote, for profit motive. Let's analyze why this definition is strange for a second. In what way is capitalism political? Why are we also incorrectly attributing industry with the status of being a private owner of a company? Both public and private statuses can apply to both an individual and a company. Why are we also assuming the motive is purely towards making profit? Some companies exist as a non-profit. Isn't it strange how Webster doesn't make any of these inferences and simply explains the reality of capitalism? Isn't it weird how the Google version of capitalism somehow sounds almost entirely like how an observer might describe a monopoly? That almost sounds like another word that we should consider. Here is a graph directly from Google Trends. This is a graph charting the interest of the word define in blue, as in, Google please define this word for me, versus the word Webster in the red, as in Google please bring up Webster's dictionary. Isn't it strange that Webster just straight up tells you everything? How nothing is hidden. How it brings up various examples of the word. How it uses context to even step further outside of the word by telling you that multiple types of capitalism exist. Why is it so important to hide this information behind a paywall? Is it because Oxford is trying to obscure how they defined capitalism? How they refuse to allow peer review? How you're not allowed to question their interpretation of reality? Why are we Americans allowing a UK government-funded institution to dictate how we colloquially understand our own reality? Last I checked, the UK government still criminally prosecutes people for, quote, offensive language. Is that really the kind of apparatus we want dictating what words mean? Imagine your government just straight up telling you to your face, you can only say what we tell you to say. You can only say approved statements and ask approved questions. You are not allowed to say anything we might interpret in a negative way. If you refuse to comply, the police have the permission of your government to physically stop you from speaking. I don't know about you, but that seems a bit Orwellian to me. I'm not sure I trust an institution of that caliber with the responsibility of directing me or the people I care about. Why would I give them control over the ideas and understanding of the words I use? Why would I give that control to such an oppressive force? But hey, who knows? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm just not seeing the big picture. Maybe I need to step down from my soapbox and look at the world from a different perspective. What do you think? Have I had too much to think? Let me know in the comments what you think. Let me know if you like these kinds of videos. Would you like to see more of them in the future? If you stayed until the end, please do me a favor and like, share, and subscribe. If you haven't checked out my music yet, please give it a listen. You might find a song you like. Thank you for watching and have an amazing day.